I use the exact same setup every single week. And the only thing I change for work is my camera because I don't use my good one. I use my shitty Logitech. So, oh my God. So I was just telling you guys that we had this whole thing where we uploaded different stuff to a different server for this is my work computer. And I ended up deleting my live weight screen somehow, and I couldn't find it in time to start and just have that. So yeah, and then for some reason it turned off my microphone, even though this is the microphone I use for everything. I don't know. So anyways, good to see you guys. And so many of you are here. And I haven't figured out how to turn back on the chat like in the corner. I had it and now I'm not seeing it. So it was there a second ago and now I don't know how to do it. I think there's some kind of a thing that I do. I'm not sure. Let's see if I can do this and see if it will work. And see if I can get the chat to run. That would be great if I could get the chat to run. Oh, look at that. I did. So you guys that watch it as the replay can see the chat and everything. Hopefully I didn't delete the music screen either because that would really suck. I do have the new prompt up though. So I already somehow loaded that and I don't even know how I did that, but I did. So nice to see you here, Natalie and Kestrel and Dexter and Brenda and everybody. You guys are all here right on time. And I was just a little bit late. And big pat on the back to Shirley for putting up links so early, right? I did that, but didn't have my camera hooked up. So yeah, par for the course, right? Like this is standard for me. I'm just always like, I don't know, somewhere off on another planet working. I was actually working on my slides for my presentation on Monday where I'm teaching for the Atlanta Writers Conference. I'm teaching about conflict and how to work that in with your plot. So yeah, I'm excited to do that. But I was kind of adding some more to it because it's my third workshop for them. And so I'm adding like extra content. Oh, I see. I have to cut the chat over with there. Yeah. So everything with me, I'm telling you, is just like a crazy like mistake. But I do have another whiteboard video coming, which I think you guys will really like because it's a bigger whiteboard. Like the whole wall is a whiteboard. I did it at work where we have a conference room that has a whiteboard right there in the corner. And I thought that would be really cool for you guys. Let me see if I can move my camera there. Ooh, look at that. My book's in the wrong place. Tell me what you guys have been reading too. I've been reading, I finished The Apprentice by Tess Gerritsen. I finished The Second Girl, which was the one I told you guys about with the unreliable narrator who was almost unlikable because he was a coke addict, but the David Swinson really pulled it off. And then I just finished this adorable book. This was The Secrets of Lost Stones. It's a debut novel and it was actually really, really good. Kind of a sweet story. And that was kind of nice after Apprentice and watching Scarpetta on Prime, I think. Because that was a lot of darkness to go to bed with at night. And reading The Secret of Lost Stones was actually really nice for me. So I loved that. And let me see, Dexter was talking about slides, but I'm not sure which one. Oh, and Brenda's reading First Lie Wins. Isn't that such a good book? I can't wait to get another one from Ashley Elston. Giovanni's Room for a Book Club, Kestrel said, and didn't finish because it didn't really grip me. Yeah, I just finished Dear Debbie, I think is the title of it, by Frida McFadden. And I really like 90% of Frida McFadden's books. Didn't really like this one. It took until chapter 25 to have action. 25. And I was just like, where are the dead bodies? Where's the suspense? Where's all that? I think she was trying something a little different with this book. And I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan. I'm doing a book club on Storygraph about it. And I don't know if I'm even going to participate because I did read the whole book. I did it on audio, but I'm not 100% sure. Now I'm reading Anita Shreve's The Stars Are on Fire, I think, or something like that is the title. It's a historical set in the 40s. That's my audiobook. And then tonight I start a new book because I finished The Secrets of Lost Stones last night. So I've got like 5 books stacked up on my bedside to figure out what I'm going to start reading in paper. And it's almost getting warm enough here to sit outside and read. I'm so excited about that. And yes, Ashley's book is a total page turner, Brenda. I loved that book. It really was one where I could not predict what was going to happen next. And I thought it was just so well done with the minimal backstory, and really shows you how to write a really tight book. So that was good. Yes. Yeah, it's been a heck of a week. And KW said I need a terrible book to read so I know what not to do. And that's true, because if you do read a terrible book, you want to analyze what is wrong with it. Why is it terrible? What are you not being gripped by? Because if you can determine that, then you can hopefully learn to see those same things in your own books. And generally, it's a lack of emotional connection. For whatever reason, you are not connecting with this character. And it can be a blockbuster book that everybody said they love. There's plenty of those out there that I was like, I don't see why people like this book. But that's because it didn't connect with me. And it's not the way that I would write a book. But that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with it. It just means it didn't connect with me. So if you take it and you analyze what's wrong with it, then you can turn around and bring those lessons to your own book. So absolutely find something that gets a 2-star review and something like that. Maybe even just read excerpts, like you can download the sample from a book, and you can see the beginning of it. And when I was first learning to write, I did a lot of that, where I would just read the first chapter and really analyze what went into a gripping first chapter and what kind of book would grab me and make me want to keep reading. And when I buy a book, or I see a book in a bookstore and I decide whether I'm going to buy it, I read those first 2 pages. And if they don't grab me, then it's probably not going to grab me down the road. So you really want to make sure that that opening is amazing. And Kestrel said any modern book talk romantasy kind of book is a bad one. And there are a lot that are like that. I literally met somebody yesterday that said they wrote a book with AI in a romance genre just because they thought that it would do really well. And this person still has their 9 to 5, so I don't think that the book did really well. The thing with AI is that it is too clinical. Even when you feed it commands to make it feel more human and you tell it to avoid the certain AI cliches that exists out there, there's a Wikipedia article on what are AI cliches. It just still feels mechanical. It doesn't feel human. It doesn't have that emotional layer to it. It can maybe do a good paragraph, but it's certainly not going to do a good book. And you're going to miss the part that's the most important to the readers. So, and KW says, I want a truly terrible book that has been traditionally published. Well, I won't bash anybody's book because I just don't like to do that, because I don't like it done to me. And I figure if it's been traditionally published, then an editor found it compelling, and copy editor and proofreader and all of those people on the team and the agent and stuff. Although there is a whole controversy about a horror novel that Hachette was putting out that was written by AI, supposedly, or edited by AI. I guess the author gave it to a developmental editor who completely rewrote it using AI. So right there, to begin with, if you didn't write your own book, like, I don't want to read it. So if you didn't write your own book and you're not telling anybody you didn't write your own book. Like, that was a whole thing with James Patterson when he was first doing that, and he was hiring ghostwriters to write his books and giving them like a few $1,000s, and he's making a couple million, and he wasn't telling anybody. And to me, that's very unethical, because I'm expecting to read a James Patterson. I do not have a problem reading a James Patterson written with, Joe Jones or David White or whatever the ghostwriter's name is. I have no problem with that, because then I'm being told that I'm getting a book that is not entirely written by that author. And if a book is written with AI, I really hope that you put that label on it. You're supposed to on Amazon. I don't think a lot of people are, but like a lot of things in every industry, the crap will generally settle to the bottom and the good books will rise to the top. So you really want to write a good one. And yes, write with AI, you didn't really actually write. And no, you don't really. Now, I use AI a lot at work. I use it a lot to take my notes or my transcripts from my videos and turn those into a handout or turn those into a PowerPoint. I just did that with the PowerPoint that I need for Monday night. And I fed it 7 handouts, 7 transcripts from different videos of mine, and told it what I wanted it to say. And out of the 32 slides it created, I used 2. So I don't know what it was thinking, what it was paying attention to, but it used all these words. I don't usually use protagonist. I usually use character. And I don't use inciting incident. I use the word catalyst. And I'm like, that's in all of my transcripts. So I don't know where the AI got these other terminology, but yeah, I barely used any of it. I was like, okay, that's a good idea for a slide. I'll take that one. And then I made 35 of my own slides. So it saved me absolutely zero time. It probably cost me time. So anyway, let me know what you guys are watching on TV. If you watched Scarpetta and if you caught Pat Cornwell in there, it's really cool to see her. I know her. We're not like best buddies or anything, but I've known her for many years, having been a member of writing organizations. And when I saw her in the trailer and then in the episode, I was all excited. And I enjoyed it. It has been a really long time since I read a Scarpetta novel, so I didn't have the beef that some people had about how Nicole Kidman is not what they pictured Scarpetta as, and the Jamie Lee Curtis character in there was not really a part of the Scarpetta books, and they kind of added it into the TV show to create more drama and more conflict, because it is like an 8-episode show rather than a single book. So I get that. I felt that way about the first Reacher movie, the one with Tom Cruise, who is not even remotely close to what I anticipated Reacher to be like as an actor. And the new guy that they got playing Reacher, closer to what I expect Reacher to be. It's, I think, a lot younger than I think Reacher should be. But, you know, I don't make those decisions. They pick the people they think will sell the most viewers. So I enjoyed Scarpetta as a story on its own. And I did like some of the twists that were in it. There were things that we did not figure out early on. Usually we figure them out. My husband and I are sitting there debating between this and that and which option that it will be. And we did not figure that out with this. So, oh, and Heather's looking forward to seeing the Peaky Blinders movie. Oh, I didn't know it was a movie. I thought it was like another season. I had watched season 1, but I didn't watch any of the others because there's like 3 seasons, I think, right? We're watching so many shows. Like we have a different one that the new episode comes out almost every day of the week. Since he's had his knee surgery, we're not really going out much, and he's tired at the end of the day when he has physical therapy. So we're basically watching TV together and not doing things like we normally do. But it's getting close to summer and pool time weather and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll be doing less TV watching and more stuff. All right, let's do a writing prompt. And I hope the music works because I think I moved that file, but I'm not sure. I was supposed to clear off all my files on my computer and upload them to a different place. And I might have done that. Nope, I think the music is still where it's supposed to be. So we shall find out the hard way, which is how I find out everything basically when I do this channel. So let's do 15 minutes and we will come back and answer your writing questions. So be sure to drop one in there. we go. 15 minutes. It went fast. And I moved the screen so I can actually see the timer here and I don't have to run my phone and the timer and all of that. Yeah, it takes me a while to kind of get bright with all that stuff, but it's funny. KW did he or she reached for his phone only to see a disgusting combination of pizza. Oh, she reached for her phone only to see the most disgusting combination of pizza she could fathom, pineapple and anchovies. That would be pretty disgusting. And Kestrel did. He reached for his phone only to see she reached for her phone only to see dozens of missed calls from her mother, followed by text messages from her father, too cruel even for his standards. Red hot anger surged through him at that moment. I like that. And Dexter asked, when is a scene too long? And the best answer I have for you is when you feel it in your gut. Like if you're questioning, is my scene too long? It's probably too long, or it's not got enough of an emotional layer to it. Any ideas for livening up a conversation in a park? I'm thinking of swans coming onto land looking for a handout, revealing characters' compassion, or kite flyers. So when I add other external elements to a scene, and I talk about this in my masterclass on scenes. I have some external factors that come up in that scene between Olivia and Luke that I used in the demonstration for that masterclass. What I do is I pick things that are not distractions so much as things that add a layer to the scene. So if I want to give them a reason to pause and somebody to avoid a subject, which is what happens in that scene, that's when I put in the drone of the lawnmower and somebody beeping outside somebody's house, that kind of thing, because those actions that happen outside of them in the ordinary world are giving them that moment to not speak. He's purposely choosing not to speak to her in that moment, and that fills that silence. Otherwise, you just have her standing there, right? But the real world moves on. The real world has things happening. And if you have a conversation in a park, you probably want to have things in there. Wait, how do I have no sound again? No, it should be sound. It says it's sound. I don't know. Okay. Dexter scared me. Okay. So what I was saying is that if a scene's too long, then if you're thinking the scene's too long, it probably is. Or you don't have enough of an emotional layer to it. So sometimes you're just adding a lot of actions and you don't have that emotional layer. That's the action, character reaction, emotional impact thing that I talked about in the care video. That's all about those micro actions and micro reactions that add up to more of an emotional scene. And then when you're adding things to liven up a scene, you want them to be there for a reason. They're not just there to liven up the scene. They're there to either be an echo of what's going on between the characters, or to show something that is going on inside the character emotionally. Like if you have the swans and let's say your one character is grieving the loss of their loved one, maybe you have just one swan that they're watching going around the water, and that grief that the swan is feeling is something that your character's going through too. You don't have to be like that on the nose when you write about it, but the people who read it get it because they know that swans mate for life. So, and you also want to have things that fill in the gaps as needed. Like I was talking about in the scene masterclass, how Luke and Olivia, there's a moment where the lawnmower is droning on and somebody beeps their horn or something like that, because he is purposely pausing. And so those things happen there. You also want your characters to have some kind of an action so that there's something that they would logically be doing. If you have two characters in a park, maybe one of them is a softie who always brings birdseed or food for the birds and the geese or something, or is a bird watcher or something. So they're doing something, and then you've got the natural interaction of the character with the setting. If they're not, or maybe they're somebody that likes to run and they're just kind of constantly anxious or pacing or something like that, it should all be within what the character would be doing, because your world is focused on basically these two characters and how the rest of the world is impacted by these characters and then impacts the characters too, if that makes sense. But that's basically what you want to do. You don't want to just throw in something just to have something to fill up the word count, or just to have something to fill up the space. Every single word in your book has a reason for being there and has a plot reason that either drags things out, gives the character the excuse to be emotionally distant, or adds a layer of tension and conflict to the scene. There's always a reason there. So anyways, I love it when you guys try the little prompt, and today's was kind of simple. It was the one that I created a really long time ago for like a Instagram post or something when I first started the channel, which is like 3 years old now. I don't even know how that happens. And I just thought, oh, that's a good one. I kind of like that because you never know what's going to happen when your character opens a door, opens a box, picks up a phone. Like maybe she picks up her husband's phone and sees a message from another woman. The one thing that I did like about Dear Debbie was that the plot that I thought was happening was not the full plot that was happening. There was like this secondary plot, I'd say, that goes along with what the Debbie character was doing that I thought was going one way, and in classic Frida McFadden, it was actually going another way. So I did like that part about it. So anyways, so what I've been working on is that same book that I've been working on before, because I'm still waiting to hear back from my editor, which is totally fine with me because I'll do procrastination any day of the week. But I have made a commitment to myself to work on my book at least 5 days a week. And this week I was successful. I worked 5 days a week on it. I had one day that I missed because I had to be in Tampa way too early and I didn't have enough time to fit it in the morning. But other than that, I have worked on it 5 days a week for at least a half an hour, generally an hour. And I think I should start making a video series. It's just, where do I find the time to edit the video? But I think I really should do something about that to sort of keep myself accountable. Because otherwise I have no real reason to write this book. Nobody's waiting for it really. And I do have my next podcast guest is going to be either Valerie Burns or Donna Allward. Depends on when I get it edited. So I've interviewed Valerie Burns, who wrote A Cozy Mystery. I've got that in my editing software to edit. And then I just interviewed Donna Allward, who is a Canadian best-selling author who writes historical fiction. She's a very good friend of mine. I've known her forever. And we just had a great conversation. It made me like almost want to book a flight to Canada because I missed talking to other writers so much. So the prompt, Kestrel says, fits my main male character who steals my female main character's phone and manipulates it so only he can actually read any messages she receives on his computer without her knowledge. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And, you'd be surprised what they can do with technology. And there is like a tracking technology, and there has been for several years, where you can watch every keystroke that somebody has on their phone or on their computer. So it does exist. One of the things that the Dear Debbie character does is create apps, and she creates one that tracks her family all the time. And that, of course, has always existed with like Life 360, but she uses it in some good and not so good ways. So anyways, I like that when you can take technology and turn it into a plot thing that goes with the book. All right, I guess I would just talk for days. Let's do another sprint and come back in 15 minutes. And don't forget to drop your writing questions in the chat. Another 15 minutes. Good job, you guys. Um, let's see what we've got. Kestrel said, I'm always worried that some plot points won't work because I'm not an expert on the topic. And that's okay. You don't have to be an expert. You can always seek out an expert to ask them questions, which I did when I would write topics, or I do when I write topics that I don't know that well. I actually have this like superstition about seeking people out until I get the book finished or it's close to being ready for publication. But I will Google stuff so that I have at least a basic working knowledge. And you can also, like I said, Google a lot of things, but you definitely want to check the sources because a lot of the things that come back with the AI results, not so accurate. My husband and I were Googling something and he's in cybersecurity, and yeah, what AI came back with was not the right answer at all. Linda wrote, hi, Shirley. She reached for the phone only to see when she opened the door, Lynx had hurt her paw on the other side. He made small whimpering noises. She couldn't help it. That's cool. I like the little Lynx on the other side of the door. So that's a cute little, or not a cute little animal. It can be dangerous, I think. Aren't they like panthers or mountain lions? Yeah, you don't want to mess with one too much, I think. I have seen bobcats in real life. When I've been on my bike, there was a bobcat running along with us on the trail early in the morning. And I've also had an encounter with a coyote. There was a coyote in my neighborhood because, we're all trying to push houses into the spaces where the coyotes live. And he's mostly, this was the neighborhood I used to live in. He was mostly chill. He would sometimes eat the rabbits. There was somebody that had bred rabbits and let tons of domesticated rabbits go in our neighborhood, and they were super destructive. So we didn't mind him eating the rabbits too much, even though that's kind of gross and sad for the rabbits. He didn't eat them all, just a few. And I don't know, I guess that justifies it. Anyways, at like 5 in the morning, my dog had to go out. So I am just bleary eyed and I can't see anything really. I don't have my contacts in or my glasses on. And I take the dog outside and she starts wagging her tail, and we're walking down the driveway. I did not have a fenced in yard at this house. I had to walk her. So I had her on a leash, and I'm walking down the driveway and I'm like, oh, look, a stray dog. And so my dog is all like, friend, 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 friend. And so I walk down thinking I'll check this dog's collar and find out whose dog it is and bring it back. It was a really small neighborhood. I would bring that dog back to whoever it belonged to. And I get really close, and my dog is like maybe a foot away. And I'm like, something wrong with that dog's ears. Like, those don't look right. And then my brain finally clicks. Because remember, it was like 5 in the morning. I was really tired. And it's like, that's not a dog. That's a coyote. And Daisy's just like, yay, 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 yay. And I'm like, no, no, we got to get back in. And so I back up really slowly with Daisy. And the coyote is coming towards us. He's not like being threatening or anything, but he's walking up the driveway towards us. And I just kept like pulling Daisy's leash in a little bit at a time and backing up at the same time until I got in my house. Yeah, that was pretty scary. But it was also kind of cool because I'd never been that close to a coyote or anything like that before. There's a lot of wildlife here in Florida. I don't see too much of it because I don't live that far from the coast. So most of what I see is like little seagulls and things like that. I don't see a lot of the more woodsy kind of animals, but they're there for sure. And I love that kind of thing. So, all right, you guys, this was awesome, even though I had, yet another mishap. And I'd normally extend it, but my granddaughter is coming tomorrow. So she's almost 2 years old, and we haven't seen her since Christmas because of my husband's surgery. So she's coming for the weekend, and I can't wait. She's adorable. And it's always such a fun time. I bought a bazillion toys, of course, for the pool and everything else for her to play with that is probably way beyond her age group, but I was very excited about seeing her. So thank you guys for all of the little smiley faces. And I also want to mention there's this other thing you can do if you want. You can hype a video. So if you think more writers need to see a video that I put out, you can, I don't know how it works on your end, honestly, because I haven't done it with anybody else's YouTube video, but I saw that my channel now has the hype feature, which means people that comment or see the video can hype it, like you give it a push. And that gets it out to more writers. I'd really love to have more followers, obviously, because the more people that follow me, the more people are going to write better books, and there's going to be better books for everybody to read. You don't make much money from YouTube. Believe me, it does not pay for itself. I invest way more money into this whole channel and everything that I do than I get in return. But I love talking to other writers. I love educating you guys. I'm so excited you guys like the whiteboard board videos. And I'm going to work some more of those kinds of visual aids into videos coming up. I've just been kind of, tossing around some ideas in my head about how I can explain some of these concepts using visual aids. So I'll think about how I can do that. I have a bunch of videos that I already recorded that don't have whiteboards and stuff in them. So those are still going to come out as we go forward. And keep an eye out for the podcast, because I'll be putting those episodes out in between the regular weekly videos, or maybe in place of, depending on how busy I get. And I think I have almost enough questions in the comments to do another Q&A video. So if you guys think that would be good, then let me know in the comments, and drop a question if you have one, because I love some of the questions that came in from the last one about outlining and scenes and stuff like that. And it would be great to do another video answering those. So maybe I'll do that Monday in general, just because I think that would be a good time. There was a lot of questions in the last couple of videos. And yes, KW, almost 7,000. They say, I don't know, they, like the weird royal they of people that are experts in YouTube, that when you get to 10,000, that then it really starts to multiply. I don't know. I have no idea. I just keep doing my thing and hoping other writers see it. So thank you guys. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you all joining me. And I did find my end screen and my weight screen. So those will be back next week. So we can go back to those, which makes my life a lot easier, because it gives me those 30 seconds or so to like click all the buttons and all the things, because y'all know that I have so many issues with that. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me. I will not be here next Friday. I have an all-day video shoot with a client. So I will not be here next Friday. So probably more reason why I should do a live on Monday, just so you guys can join me. So I will put that up when I figure out what time I can run it. I've got a couple of meetings on Monday, so I've got to look at my calendar and see when I can run that. So thank you guys, and I have a great weekend. I'll see you soon. Oops. I forgot to cut to.
Jumpstart your writing, get over the hump. Jump into fiction with Sherlock.